Try to give it a little more shape. It gets to be like a little button nose sticking out there. You can see it projects out just a little bit, and that's just what we want. So that starts the face going, and I'll heavy up again the center line because everything is referenced off of this center line. Everything is supposed to be symmetrical. And one of the things that we're going to do next is the eyes. The eyes are set back 3/8 to what would be the front of the eye. You can see it over here even better. From the nose back, the eyes are 3/8 back, and that's the front end. The back end is a 1/2 inch. So what we want to do is measure in profile straight in from the nose about 3/8, put a dot, and then another dot, which would be the 1/8 inch. And then what I'm going to do is go up with this and go up with this. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in. I'm going to measure from the tip of the nose straight in. 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. So I have that line of action and that line of action. Okay. Now, if I crisscross these across, hopefully I come up with a perpendicular line to that center. And then I'm going to do the second one here. But it's more important for this first one here, the 3/8. The other thing that I have set is the 3/8 back is where the eye, oh, I'm sorry, the eye is located. Let's see if I have it here. Here it is. 3/16 from the center out is the corner of the eye, and 3/16 from the center out over here is the corner of the eye. So if I come in and I measure 3/16, it's right there, and 3/16 is right there. Okay, so I'm going to have that as my target. That is where the eyes will fit from the center out. And also, the eyes should be right off the top of the nose. So the nose, as you can see, is here, and it has a flat. But because this was carved and it was just run on a machine, a lot of this doesn't happen. We don't get the flat. So what you got to do, in a sense, is when you're looking down on this nose is coming back straight, and then it's going to flare up, okay, to get that kicker right in there. So the actual top of the nose is right here, and if you were to sort of trying to measure it down from the nose or from the top of the head, I'm saying it's roughly maybe a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch down, and that's where the eye should actually be when I go to drill it. And I'm going to do it on the other side here as well. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to come down, bit more than 1/8 of an inch down from the top of the head. Right there, which if I drew a line from the top of the nose straight back, that would be about it. So, in essence, this eye, where they intersect, and this is going to get a little confusing, it's where this line and this line cross is where the eyes are going to be, but the eyes are actually going to start all the way back here. So to do that, I'm going to drill right on through, straight back along here until I reach about there. I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to do this with a bit that's pointy. It's a diamond. And what I'm going to do is put it in my machine here. And I'm going to lay this right at this point, and I'm going to go straight back in. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. It's where this line, which is 3/16 out and 3/16 out, and it's level with the nose going across, is where I want to drive this straight back. Now that may not be perfect, but we're going to get pretty close. We're going to massage this a little bit. So when you look in, it almost looks like that's where the eyes are going to happen, but the eyes are actually back here. If you look at this, the eyes are set back 3/8 from the front, and then the back end of the eye is 1/2 inch. So what we're really saying is that here's our 3/8 back, and here is our 1/2 inch back. And if we came over here and we drew the eye is going to fall right in here, but along this line. Remember, it's 3/16 from out and 3/16 out. So I'm actually going to bring that out in here. And if I drew the eye in here, it's right about there, but it's into here. It's on this line. It's a little confusing, but I'm going to show you. After you drill that like that, if you look at it straight on, it doesn't look too bad. But what I want to do now is I'm going to come in and start cleaning that out, and it's going to start to come together pretty fast. So let me get another bit. All my bits are hiding on me today. I don't know why. That won't do it. Let's see. We'll use this one. Here we go. There's the bullet. My favorite, one of my favorite, the bullet. This is a bullet-shaped diamond. I like this one a lot for getting the edges or getting into the tight areas. So I'm going to go with this. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's our line of action. The eyes are sitting right on top of that nose, in a sense, but it's back here. So I need to get an opening straight on, looking in profile. I'm going to push in until I meet here. And I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to lay this down on its side. I'm going straight in. And what I've done is that opening back there, I came in from the side and drove straight in. Then all this is like excess in here. So I'm just going to clean some of that off so it starts to make sense. Now the whole eye comes back 3/8, which is here, and this is the final back end of the eye, so I still have to get into there more. So again, that line of action on the top of the nose, I'm driving straight back. Oops, excuse me. So there's like, let me just redo this. Here's the top of the nose. If I come straight back, okay, here's the corner of the front end of the eye, which is back in here. And the back end of the eye is a 1/2 inch back there. So you drive your channel in and just clean that out right in there, like that. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So here we go. Here's the top of the nose. I'm going to lay this in and at least drive it in, straight in along that line until I get to the 3/8. Okay. And that 3/8 line is this one right here. And once I reach that, I still got to get back to the 1/2 inch from the front of the nose back. So I'm going to keep on driving it back. And keep on driving it back till it reaches that line. Just like that. Now, I may not have drilled deep enough on that eye. So what I'm going to do, because I was grinding away, we were saying that the eye was 3/16 off the center. 3/16 off of the center. So, and it's on top of the nose. Here's the top of the nose right here. Going straight in, I have to drill right on that line again. So I'm going to go back to my real fine diamond, the pointed one, this one here. And I'm going to drive that straight in again on that line, following the top of the nose, right in there. And I'm going to do this on here so I have that eye deep enough. So that's what it looks like from the front, straight in. And now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up. Part of what we have here, as I was saying before, this portion here comes out about maybe 1/4 inch or just before the eyes here. It's I'd say it's about 1/4 inch in right here. It kicks up. So right now we have material that's sort of sloping from the top of the nose upward. We want to level this down. So it's a lot of straightaway on top of the nose there. So what I'm going to do is come in with a bullet again. You could use the flame too, whatever you prefer. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to lay this, what would be in front of the eye, actually about 1/4 inch in from the nose, I should say. And I'm going to take this down. So I'm looking down from the top, and I'm pushing this down. I don't want to go below the nose, so I'm checking myself out in profile. But you can see, from the top of the nose, we're coming back, and then we're going to start rolling this up. and I made a pretty good indent in there, so I want to smooth that out so we don't have any dip. And then right in here, I'm going to start rolling this up to what would be the forehead. So we have a roll. It comes back from the nose, and then it slopes up to about here, which is the top of the head. Now, I hit it again, sorry about that. So here we go. I'm going to clean this out now. I'm going to come around here, take some of the edges away. I'm going to pull this back because we have, excuse me, 3/8 here, 1/2 inch from here to there, 3/8 from here to there. I need to get that corner of the eye opened up. So I'm going to come around and roll that a little bit. Come in here. Round that down so that everything's like level with the top of the nose right in here, and the eye starts popping out. Now I'm going to sort of roll this around here a little bit, so this will come like off the nose in a sense, and then come over and around, and then, excuse me, the eye starts forming. Okay, so the eye starts popping out where it should be, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to drive this back, round this over. And what we have to do is the same thing we have going on over here, this shape, looking from the top down. I need to do that basically from here. So I need to get this coming back here. So I got a lot of material. Everything we do on a face is really like symmetrical. And then I come back and I try to roll this up towards the nose just to round it over. I don't want any cuts or anything like that, or edges. I'm going to go in with this just to get those eyes open a little bit more. There we go. I'm taking that out. I'm going to flatten this a little bit more. Looks like I got the one side, but I didn't take the other side down to get it to where like the forehead would be. And this needs to be coming back in here more. Remember, we got to get up to this 3/8, so we got to clean this out, round this over. And what I'll do is I'll keep on cleaning that. See, here's the 1/2 inch. I gotta get this eye to go back to that 1/2 inch. So what we end up doing is we have that 1/2 inch line here coming across, and we have the 3/8 line. This is all from the front back coming here. So I need to get that 3/8 to that corner of the eye, and the back end of the eye needs to come down to this 1/2 inch. So what I end up doing is, again, I may have to push the eye back in there a little bit more. Then I come in here and I'll open that opening of the eye so it has a channel that's still coming back to at least a 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to round that over so it has like a brow there. And then I'll round the head so it doesn't look so rough. And if I left the channel in the front here, I want to clean that out too. This area in here, here's your nose. All this wants to be like a cheek or a puffed area. So what I want to do is just soften that and round it over like this. Okay, almost like a dog's face where the nose is and then the cheeks pop out. Then I'm noticing I'm still a little squared up down here. I'll get that with another bit. We got to really take that in yet. But what I'm trying to do is, here's the 3/8. That's to the corner of the eye. And then the back end of the eye moves in a little bit more. And that gives it this shape. And we push this back a little bit more, and I think I need to do it on this side too. I'm looking at where the 3/8 is. Okay, so we need to take the channel that I was cutting through past the 1/2 inch marker. So I can look in there. Get that eye back in there again. Now, from here, from the tip of the nose back to here, I'm getting to see the eye. I know it's not the easiest. From here to about here, it's touching that line. And the other corner of the eye is right here. So I think I'm reached the area I'm trying to achieve. So I'm going to just roll this around and try to get any edges I have out of there. So that's how we achieve this. It's a little tricky, but if you stay with it. Now, the brow itself, and you can see this on the finished piece here, really comes back and cuts back through here. So this is got to come in a little bit more. We have this turning in here like this. So I take a little bit more of the brow off so it gets exposed. I'm just trying to clean this up in here. Get that up. And we'll refine this as we go, because you'll see the face starting to develop in here, and the more we do, the more you'll see the face starting to develop. Here's the flat that rolls upward, and here is that, what I call the forward cheek. Now we're starting to get some shape into the otter's face. Still a little high over here, so I'm going to roll that down. And what we're trying to do is I'm looking in to make sure that both sides look the same, or close for the moment anyway. I'm trying to get any edges out of there. Everything looks like it's rolling. Okay. Fill that eye out again just to make sure. Now, we're starting to get some shape to the face. And you can see we have the straightaway going, and then it kicks up to what would be the forehead, and then the top of the head. And we want to try to get that going on both sides. As you're looking in, it should look like, this or this. As you're laying it down, it's starting to take shape. We still have, it's still squared up here. We got a lot more to do, but what we're doing is doing a little bit at a time in creating the face. Because we don't want to take big chunks out and then get lost in how much you're taking off. It's a little bit at a time. And I'm pushing this brow back because it's still sticking out too far. So I'm coming in here and I want to massage that. And what I do too is, here's that center line again. And I always reference that. And it should be making the same moves on either side. So you see something not right on one side, you got to make it similar on the other. So I'm going to come in and push this in a little bit more so that we have similar sides. All right, we're getting close. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to soften this up in here. This is sort of like squared up still, and you can see it. It's like a flat in here, and we got edges. So what I'm going to do is come in with a pear. And what I'm going to do is just soften that out. I'm going to use a pear, which is this shape here. And in fact, let me use this one. I got some pears that are worn. I need to get newer ones in. This one has a little more of a grit. So I'm going to come in, and you can see this edge or this pencil work I did here. I'm going to come in and just roll this. You can see even some saw marks I have in here. I'm just going to soften that out, roll the head a little bit to get some of the squareness out of the head. Remember, we did that initially. I do a little bit at a time because if you take too much out, boy, your head's gone already, and it's important to just take your time. And as much as I'm looking like I'm taking a lot off, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just taking my time trying to get shape in here and pulling this in. And I go up to the center line and then try to round that corner a little bit. The head is kind of square, and we got to go some here yet. When I rounded this, I was always going easy on how much I took off. So we may have to do this a couple times to achieve what we're looking for, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer each time. And then I'm looking at this, and here's what I want to do next. The ears, if you look at this view here, is out 3/8. Okay, so if we come up to the top and we measure from the center line out 3/8, which is here, and we go 3/8 over here, and we put a mark there. That's how far out the ears are. Okay. Now, that's the one view. Now, the other view for the ear is from the nose straight back, it's 7/8 to the back end of the ear. So if we lay this down and we measure from the tip of the nose straight back, 7/8, this is the area. And I'll do it on the other side too, so that we have both of them, is 7/8. So it's right here. So in essence, the ear is, let me just make sure I did that correctly. Yeah, 7/8 back. And here's the 3/8. So the ear is going to come, if you look at it, it's right above the eye line. Here's the eye line coming back. So if you keep on running that channel back, the ear is a big C. So it's just that. So you put a C about that size, it's about 1/8 of an inch from the center line of the eye on top of it up. And we do the same thing over here. Here's the center line of the eye, or the top of the nose, either one, how you want to look at it. You run that back. You put the C, which is about 1/8 inch diameter C, and that's the location of the ear. Okay, so here's what I do. I get a diamond ball, and I get a ball about that big. It measures roughly, for you, I'm going to do it in millimeters. It's like a 2 millimeter diamond ball. What I do is I get this in my bit, and the ear is going to be right here. So I'm going to make a small plunge right in there, just to indent that's the ear, and I'll do it on this side too. Just a little one. Now I'm going to come around to the back end with the same ball and undercut around the pencil line, but still keep the pencil line, okay? So that ear has to come in a heck of it. See how, where the what's the name is? The 3/8 is to the outside of the ear. So this has to come in a hell, and so I'm going to undercut this ear a good bit. And you want to get it to that line, so I have to undercut this all the way back to that line, this line here, which is, let me reinforce it again. It's from here to here, it's 3/8. That is where that falls. So I'm going to work one side at a time. So I'm going to come in, change the bit out, and go to a flame again, or I should say a bullet, or a flame, either one. And I'm going to undercut. Here's the ear itself. Let me show you. There's the pencil line going around. Here's the back end where I made that channel. I got to take all the material away that was around that ear in the back. So this has to come down, all the way down, to get that ear to pop out. Okay. So I'm undercutting all the way around. And I'm blending the material away from that cut. cleaning that all out. Let me see if I can't pencil this in. You're starting to lose it. At least I'm losing it just by looking at it. So here's the pocket. Here's the ear. And here's the channel we made. Coming around here trying to clean all this out. I'm going to come in with a ruby bit to take some more out, just to get it smoothed out. So I'm going to come in here, just blend this away. I almost have it out there. I'm going to go in again. I'm going to do it with the ball and try to clean up a little bit because it looks like there's a lot of fragments sticking around on this. So I'm going to try to come in, clean that out, and it comes right into that eye channel. Here's the back end of the ear. And the ear starts popping out. So the ear starts showing up. And I'm going to try to pencil it in again just so you can see the outline of it. Because it may get lost in what I'm trying to do here. Now, this whole thing has like two cheeks in front of it. Here's one of them right here that comes off the mouth and circles around up to the top here in front of the eye. Notice that it's all in front of the eye. So this cheek is being created right off the mouth. It's very subtle. In fact, once we put it in, you're not going to see it. It gets smoothed into the face itself. So I'm coming around here, and I'm going to undercut that. And I'm going to do that with the bullet again. And that's what I call like the first cheek in the front. So I'm going to come right on the line and notice that here's the eye channel up here, and this turns just before that. So we're going to undercut it right on the line, and I'm not going real deep. Okay, like that. And I'll pencil that line in again so you know where it's at. And you can see I didn't take a lot out. Let me go in a little bit more. Let me get that in just a little bit more. There we go. Now, I run the pencil line in. I always put the pencil line into the channel I made because I can see the depth I have to go after to achieve it. So I'm going to come in and round off this edge that I just created. Excuse me. And I'm going to round off this. Round off this. And then I'm going to soften this edge. And you go in, you put the pencil line in again so you can see where it stopped and started. and it sort of fades off right there. So I'm going to come in here and round that right up to the mouth. Okay. So this is going to be a nice puffy cheek that pops out right in here. It's going to come from the mouth. And I'm not taking that much material off at all. I'm really trying to stay and just smooth it. Then I'm blending this back so it sort of fades in. I don't want any edges. So I will blend that like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to do the next thing is we have this other cheek, which really gets the back of the otter structure for the jaw and what have you. And it's going to work this way. It's coming off the ear right there at the bottom. It's going to flare out past the ear a little bit. See how if you drew a straight line, here's your 7/8 back for the ear. It's going to go past that a little bit and then turn. And then it's going to come sliding right around to what would be the bottom of the otter at the underneath the chin here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, again, the bullet. I'm going to undercut it. And I'm leaving the line there, but I'm undercutting it. So you really want to get that back in there. Now, I undercut that, and I lay that down, and I get that around. Now, all the material back here has to be blended away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a ruby bit, which is similar to the pear. It's this one here. I like this shape too sometimes. And I'm going to come in and blend all of this material away from this pencil edge. That's that channel. We have an edge over here, and we have an edge back here that we're trying to get rid of. So I'm going to blend it all back. So I'm coming in here, and I'm really going to take material from behind because this is where the neck comes in. And you need to get this tapered up to that cheek. And I'll even come back further so it looks like it's tapering up to that, and I'll round it right on up to the center line on the bottom and right up behind the ear without touching the ear. What happens is it all starts taking shape, and we can pull that in. Now, I have that all cleaned out up to here. Now what I need to do, I still see remnants, and here's the thing, excuse me. Here's a little bit of the edge still there, so I'll go in and identify what I missed, then come back in and take that down some more, because that's what you got to do. You have to check yourself out. A lot of times when you're taking material off, it looks good in one direction, then when you get the light to hit on the wood in another direction, you see what you missed. So, okay. Now, what I left here was I have the ear projected out right here. Here's the ear popping out here. Here's this coming around. And I have this edge that I have to finalize to soften. So I'm going to go back to my bullet again. And of course my bullet is hiding from me. Here we go. Get the bullet in there. Now I'm going to soften the inside of that. So I'm going to come from under the ear. And I'm going to roll that cheek around like this. Okay, if I miss something on this other cheek up front here, or nozzle, muzzle I should say, not a cheek, I'm going to soften that out. So, now, I'm going to soften things I see that I haven't finished yet, and that's the forehead. Comes back a little bit. Just sticking out too far, so I'll clean that up. I'll soften in the eye channel here just a little bit so that it has a nice roll. Just still a little high up here. So I will take that down a little bit more. And I think, you know what the problem may be? I said that the ear has to be 3/8 out. So I'm going to check myself again. And my ear is not 3/8 out. 3/8 would be here, and 3/8 would be here. So my ear is still projecting out. So I need to drive the ear back a little bit more. I miscalculated on that. So I'm going to go back with the ball. These are things we'll do. We'll keep on moving ourselves inward till we get exactly the measurements we're looking for. So I'm going to drive this in more, and I'm going to undercut more. I'm doing this with the ball to get this back where it should be. Just miscalculated on that. Okay. So I moved the ear in a little bit more. And I'm going to do that in stages again. Here's the ear, and the ear's really got to come back to there, and then come around. So this ear is really puffy. So I do a lot with my bullet, so I'll bring the bullet in to take that down a little bit more. Just sticking out too far, so I'll take that down, clean this out. Now we have the ear where it should be. And then this could come in here. Now you can see how the head is narrowing in. And we have to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to leave you at this point to create the other side. Now, the thing I want you to consider is you have to undercut this, you have to undercut this. We have the eyes in. So what you need to develop now is we have this coming off of here, and it circles around in front of the eye like this. And you're going to undercut that, which is going to create this. So that should be back a little bit more. I'm a little chintzy on the dimensions here. So that'll come back to here and not right where I showed you. And the ear, which we said we already popped a little hole in there, and here's the pencil. So that's going to come out. So you're going to undercut behind here. You're going to clean all this out. And you can see how this is like squared up, and you can see how this is rolling inward here. You're going to remember also that the ear is 3/8. So the ear should be 3/8 from the center line out. So that all this material for the ear has to come all the way back from here to here, 3/8. So that gets driven back, and you can do that with the ball. And then once you get that all right, then you're coming out from behind the ear with that. This is the muzzle, I should say, and this is the cheek coming around, and this will get all undercut. And then this gets undercut pretty good because you got to bring that neck in, and then this all gets blended around. So I'm going to leave you to do the other side, and then you're also going to clean up the brow a little bit, and round this off, and we'll proceed on, and hopefully you'll get both sides done similarly. Okay, so there's the view from the front. Here's the nose. And just remember, everything works off of that center line, and that is critical, okay? And if there's some massaging I need to do, I'll come in and finalize to make sure that both sides look the same. And here's the profile, and the profile, and hope to see you in the next session. And if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe to me. I'd appreciate it. And I thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next episode.